The way you choose to think and speak about yourself is a choice. You may have spent your whole life talking about yourself in a negative way, but that doesn't mean you have to continue that path. What is going on, warriors? This is your man Johnny F here, and in today's video, we are expanding on the series of healing your inner critic with 6 tips to improve your self-talk. So let's get right into it. Welcome to Next Level Warrior. It's so great to have you guys here. And for anyone that's new to the channel, we go over topics surrounding personal development and mental health with real solutions to help you build your warrior within to become your next level self. So if that sounds good to you, then join the growing warrior community by hitting that subscribe button and selecting all notifications to catch my videos posted every week. So you've probably already seen my video on the importance of self-talk, and I assure you that there will be a series of many videos on the topic. Mostly because it was one of the major parts of my life that I chose to work on and transform in my personal journey. But also because I know that this is a challenge that many of us have, and most aren't even aware of it while it continues to eat away at their mental health. And for anyone watching this, I have to make this absolutely clear. Regardless of how long you've been aware of your negative self-talk, how big or how small of a problem it may be, please know that your current interest to better manage this and turning it around is being heard loud and clear. You are on a new path to becoming your next level self. Start listening. Really become the observer here of your inner dialogue. Any negative self-talk that comes through in your day is likely very automatic, as it's a subconscious response that you've probably been doing for a while. It requires no effort, so what you really need to do is bring a new level of awareness to it. Realize that it's there, and you've got to start immediately implementing this. Don't wait till tomorrow. You see, once you really notice the inner critic from this place of the observer, you are now in the position to do something about it. You are in control. You're no longer stuck in the automatic program that you developed. As you start practicing this, you step aside as a witness from the repeating pattern into a position where you can now feed the program. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between positive or negative. Whatever you choose to convey to it, especially in a repetitive manner, will eventually be accepted and become part of your subconscious programming. There's a quote by Russ Kyle where he said, "Watch what you tell yourself. You're likely to believe it." Remember that this negative self-talk didn't start overnight. This took time. It took your repetition, feeding the program into your subconscious mind until it became automatic. And as such, with your new awareness as the observer, you are now in a position to feed it something new. And for a next level tip, get yourself a little notebook that you can carry with you and jot down every time you notice the negative self-talk, whether it's in your head or even speaking poorly about yourself in front of other people. Since you've now become better at observing your inner critic, let's start to create some additional space between you and them. To do this, give your critic a name. Specifically, a silly name. I mean, if that works for you. I personally prefer to bring some humor into it so that when I catch any negative self-talk such as,
"Why do you even bother making these videos? You don't even have 1,000 subscribers."
Okay, listen here, João Cagão. This relationship we've had this whole time, it isn't really working out. So I think it's time, If you need some inspiration, some other name examples are Pessimist Peter, Doubtful Daniel, Shameful Stephen, Negative Norman, or Thomas the Downer. Now feel free to get creative with yours. Make up your own and definitely share it with us in the comments. Now if you choose not to go down the silly name route, then please understand that there is a great importance in still using your name to create distance between you and the self. Research has found that this creates psychological distance from the emotional intensity of the critic self, helping you to not feel nearly as bad and actually move forward with greater confidence and perspective on this. As your awareness starts to build, you're going to want to start questioning your critic. For example, the next time you catch yourself saying something like,
"Man, I have a bad memory. There's no way I could do this. Why does this always happen to me? My life sucks."
Literally stop and question your critic. Okay there, Negative Johnson, what makes you say that?
"What do you mean? Look at your life. Could it be any more obvious?"
Right, but there's a bigger picture here. You realize that if we start working on this, things can actually change. Why don't we start training for a better memory and stop being such a downer? Come on, Don't you want to work on this? Once you begin to take note of the typical negative self-talk that comes through your inner critic, whether you're writing this physically into a notebook or as a mental note, using a notebook is way better. You can start progressing and gaining confidence in questioning your critic. Eventually, this will help you to actually learn and rephrase the typical negative self-talk that would be coming through into something more constructive and logical towards a greater quality of life, which is something that I'll be going much deeper in on a future video. So if that's something you appreciate, then let me know by hitting that like button. Now this may seem silly at first, but in the moments that you actually do this work, the awareness, the questioning, rephrasing, or using positive self-talk, whatever it is, make sure to celebrate it in that exact moment. I am not talking about celebrating by partying. I am 100% referring to generating positive emotion. Feeling good whether you chose to clap and cheer, give yourself a fist bump, yell out hip hip hooray, or that's sad. Make sure to congratulate yourself and specifically feel the heightened emotion that you're winning, that you're going in the right direction. And for those of you asking, no, this isn't lunacy. There's actual research behind this when it comes to new habit formation. World-renowned behavior scientist and best-selling author of the book Tiny Habits, Dr. BJ Fogg, speaks about celebrating your tiny wins and the impact that this has on accelerating the process of habit formation in behavioral change. It turns out that when we add emotion, especially positive emotion, we are fast-tracking the rewiring of our neurons to adapt to the habit easier and faster. Fogg says, you'll eventually do more of the habits in the time that you hadn't planned, and you'll be a lot less fearful to attempt other changes. So I won't deny that this may seem odd and silly at first, but you gotta realize that this is how we can actually make the change happen faster. So go ahead and do a little dance. Our negative self-talk will likely still persist as we are actively working on it, and it can still temporarily win in many cases when we feel our progress is happening slowly. What you must understand is that what's taking years or decades to form will take time to transmute, but definitely much less time. This is where you want to bring patience into this practice and use compassion with yourself to make the process gentler on you. This new level of awareness you're growing is going to make it very apparent how bad your self-talk may be. So when you feel this, let yourself know that you're sorry, that you're doing your best, and that with this new attention, with this work, the changes will happen because it can only get better as you actively work on it. And definitely use your journal for this, to process the heavy feelings, to bring clarity and optimism to brighten your future. Remind yourself that it's okay if the critic came on hard. No one said that this was going to be easy, and definitely give yourself a lot of thanks for doing this work. And every time you do this, make sure to celebrate. By this point, I don't have to remind you of how important it is to do this work on yourself. To start immediately, as this will create one hell of an impact not only on your life, but the lives of the people around you. Eventually, they're going to see these changes in you, and chances are that you may inspire them. So do you have any other tips? Any other suggestions? Let me know in the comments, as there are countless other ways to work on this, which we're also going to be covering in detail in the Next Level Warriors Facebook group, which I would love for you to be a part of. Check out the description for a link, make sure to like this video to show your support, subscribe for new videos posted weekly, and never stop growing, warriors. That's